Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry for those who joined us the first time. My deepest apologies. I hope, is this clearer now? Okay, I got a yes. I so apologize. I was having some Wi-Fi issues. Thank you so much for coming back. Appreciate that. Give a couple of more people an opportunity to come on. Thank you so very much. I was having some, now the echo we're just gonna have to deal with right hand, but thank you. But glad that we have volume. So I hope that everyone had a marvelous Monday. It was a good Monday for me. And I was just excited about sharing with you all on tonight for our Monday's motivational message. This is our third one, and just want to thank you all for those who are joining us for the first time. Thank you so much. And for those who join us weekly, it really is my joy. Hey, hello to you. It really is my joy to bring this. We got Florida representing tonight. Come on, you all know how we do. Let's do our roll call right quickly. I know we have Florida on the line tonight. Who else do we have on the scope? Can you all let me know where you're from? I know we have Alabama. Thank you. Alabama and Florida. I know we have a few Michigan people on the scope tonight. West Virginia's in the house. Indiana is on. Detroit, Michigan, Louisiana. Hey, Charleston, South Carolina. We got the East Coast well represented, in the Southeast well represented. All right, Kiko Harbor, Michigan is in town. Hey, thank you, first time viewer from Virginia Beach. It's going to be well worth it. I guarantee you. My childhood friends on the line. We have South Carolina. Hey, while people are joining, I want you to invite your followers if you don't mind. I really have something good and sound to say. Excuse me. I know better than that than to have gum in my mouth while I'm presenting. Hey, but I really have something sound to say. So I'll be quick because I know it's Monday, and I know you thank God for Monday, but you had to work today. So it is. Today is April 4th, 2016, and today is the 48th anniversary of the King assassination. This date, 48 years ago, Dr. King was assassinated. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., preacher, civil rights leader, and just a wonderful man of God from what history books and stories and movies tell us. I am blessed that I have been able to meet quite a few of his family members. And I was even more blessed that I was able to attend the same undergraduate institution he did. So although I never met him because he was assassinated before I was born. Hey, welcome from Florida again. I was able to, that's my brother, I think, in the Lord. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. I was able to connect with a lot of his family members at Morehouse College. And I wanted to share something today. I want to give my Monday's motivational message from him. And so it is, I think, a general question of consensus would be, why did he have to die? Very oftentimes, and that is a question of closure. I want to give you several questions tonight, and that's my kind of like my Monday's motivational message for this evening. But it is the question of closure. Why did he have to die? And it would be something similar to us if someone or something died in our lives. Whether it was a person, whether it was a relationship of any nature, people are likely to ask the question, why did it have to die, or in that way, which is a question of closure. But what I really want to harp on tonight is I want to ask you questions, or questions that every dreamer answers with his or her life. Questions that every dreamer answers with his or her life. The first question that every dreamer has to answer is, who am I? Who am I is a question of identity. And it doesn't make a difference who you are. At some point in your life, you have had to answer the question, whether you've done it directly or indirectly, who am I? It is a question of identity. Thank you, Scribe. Y'all own it tonight. The second question that every dreamer has to answer during his or her lifetime is, why am I here? Why am I here is a question of purpose. So the first question is, who am I? Which is a question of identity. The next question is, why am I here? Which is a question of purpose. It is a question of purpose. And so it is that once you find out who you are and your identity, then it's necessary that you find out your purpose. Why am I here? The third question that every dreamer must answer during his or her lifetime is, what do I have? What do I have? And that is a question of resources. You have to understand that if you have identity and you have purpose, then you have to have resources. You have to have something in order to do what it is that you were planning on the earth to do. And that is a question of resources. So who am I? A question of identity. Why am I here? A question of purpose. What do I have? A question of resources. The fourth question is, what am I doing with what I have? What am I doing with what I have? And that is a question of involvement. That's where I want to go right there. It is a question of involvement. And we could spend time talking about what we do not have, or we could really live our lives making the most of what we do have. We got to use everything that we have to live a substantive life. So what am I doing with what I have? And that is a question of involvement. Am I complaining, or am I in a state of apathy with what I don't have? Or am I fully involved in giving it everything that I have with what I have? So the first question was, who am I? Which is a question of identity. The second question is, why am I here? Which is a question of purpose. The third question is, what do I have? Which is a question of resources. The fourth question is, what am I doing with what I have? Which is a question of involvement. And my fifth and final question that every dreamer must answer during his or her lifetime is, did I live for something that will outlive me? Let me say it again. Did I live for something that will outlive me? And that is a question of legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that I think that people, they are very good at answering the other questions. But the real question is if you can get to the end of your life, and I don't mean to be morbid, but if you could kind of see yourself in a state of death or eternity, if you'd allow me to say, and look back into your life, then the question that I have to ask is, did I live for something that will outlive me? And that is legacy. It is so important that we, let me say it this way. Legacy to me is when I leave something behind to help other people get ahead. I think I'll say it again. Legacy is what I leave behind to help others get ahead. I think it is so imperative that I chose this route tonight of questioning, because sometimes we have more questions in life than we have answers. But I submit to you, it is those questions that will lead us to discovery. It is those questions that will lead us to development. And sometimes we're so interested in looking for the answer that it's not that we cannot find the right answer. Sometimes we are not asking the right question. So I started off by sharing with you that today is the 48th anniversary of the Dr. King assassination. And the general question of consensus is, why did he have to die? Which is a question of closure. And then I shared with you 5 questions that every dreamer must answer during his or her lifetime. The first question is, who am I? Which is a question of identity. Why am I here? Which is a question of purpose. What do I have? Which is a question of resources. What am I doing with what I have? Is a question of involvement. Did I live for something that will outlive me? Which is a question of legacy. I want to end, though, kind of the way I started. The general consensus question would be, why did he have to die? Which is a question of closure. But this is what I heard today as I was preparing to share with you, and I want to read it so I make sure that I get it right. So maybe we don't need closure for the life of a dreamer, but constant exposure to the lessons of the dreamer. I'll read it again. Maybe we don't need closure for the life of a dreamer, but constant exposure to the lessons of the dreamer. Hey, we're the benefactors of what, or the beneficiaries, of what others have done before us and what they left behind to help us get ahead. And whether we know it or not, we're doing the same thing. And I submit to you that if you are able to answer these questions honestly and humbly, then it is that you will leave something behind to help others get ahead as well. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to be a Donald Downer, not a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be a Donald Downer, but I submit to you that from the time you started living, you started dying. And with that in mind, then, I hope, it is my hope and my prayer that from this scope and for the rest of your life, you will adopt a mantra that I've adopted for my life. And that is, I want to live full and die empty. I want to live full and die empty. What do I mean by that? It has been said that the richest place in the world is not Wall Street. The richest place in the world is not the gold reserves. The richest place in the world is not where gold can be excavated on the continent of Africa. But the richest place in the world is the grave. The grave is the richest place in the world because there are dreams that went unfulfilled, songs that were not left here, movies that were not written or recorded, books that were not penned and published. And so it is, the richest place in the world is the graveyard. And since I started dying once I was born, I made up my mind when I consciously knew what was going on, that I was going to live full and die empty. I am taking none of God's glory to the grave with me to the best of my ability. If my last day was today, it is my only hope that I lived full and died empty. Hey, I hope that you enjoyed this Monday's motivational message. If you did, make sure that you tap that screen for those hearts. For our first time viewers, thank you so much. I hope that something was said and that it was meaningful, that it get you to follow me. Hey, I'm on all forms of social media, and it is my life's goal to help build people's lives and to help people win in their everyday lives. And if I can do that with you, iron sharpens iron. So it's not that you're a loser already. It's just that sometimes you just need somebody to push you in the right direction. And you're already probably going in the right direction. You just need somebody to push you to stay in that right direction. I would that you would connect with me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Nelson A. Henry, my government name. I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope, of course, as @PastorNah. That's N-A-H, Nelson Anthony Henry. So that's my full name. I would that you would get connected and stay connected. I absolutely, positively love doing this. For all of my church members who are on the scope, thank you for trusting the God in me not to have, yes, I will, childhood friend, I'll push you. Thank you so much for trusting the God in me to make sure that I do not take this walk of faith by myself. For those who are connected and just friends of mine who are on this scope, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join in. For those first-time viewers, hey, I want to be as personable with you and purposeful with you as possible. So thank you for accepting the invitation and the invite to join us. And we'll be back on again throughout the week or whenever I get some. Thank you so much, sister. We'll be back on again whenever I get something to drop. But just mark in your calendar next Monday, April 11th, 2016 at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on with Monday's motivational message. Hey, I want the best for you, and God wants even better. Be blessed.